Part 1. The Origins. How did this rivalry begin? It was 2007. The world was still using phones with buttons. Then Steve Jobs walked onto a stage and changed everything. He pulled out a thin, glass-covered rectangle and said, "An iPod, a phone, and an internet communicator. Are you getting it?" That was the first iPhone, and the world would never look the same again. Apple's game changer. Before the iPhone, smartphones were clunky, corporate, and complicated. BlackBerry ruled business. Nokia ruled the world. Apple? They were the iPod people. But with that, one device, Apple redefined what a smartphone should be. One screen, no keyboard. Smooth touch fluid design, more importantly, Apple controlled everything. The hardware, the software, the experience. You didn't just buy a phone, you joined a walled garden, beautiful, polished, and entirely managed by Apple. Android enters the ring. Meanwhile, in secret, Google had been working on its own mobile operating system, Android. Their original plan was to compete with BlackBerry, not iPhone. But when Apple unveiled the iPhone, Google panicked and pivoted. They scrapped their keyboard-based prototype and went full touchscreen. The result? In 2008, the first Android phone launched, the HTC Dream, T-Mobile G1. It wasn't as pretty, it wasn't as smooth, but it had something Apple didn't: freedom. Google made Android open source. Any brand, Samsung, LG, Motorola, could use it. They could tweak it, customize it, make it their own. While Apple built one perfect device, Android unleashed a movement. Control versus chaos from the start. This wasn't just a battle between two phones. It was a battle between two ideologies. Apple, design it all, control it all, deliver the perfect experience. Android, open it up, let the brands play, give users choice. One gave you the best version of what you were allowed to do. The other gave you the tools to do whatever you wanted, for better or worse. Apple's App Store was curated, clean, but strict. Android's Play Store was bigger, messier, more chaotic. But freedom comes with risks, and control comes with limits. The spark that ignited the war by 2010, the war was on. Samsung, HTC, and other Android makers were flooding the market. Android updates came fast and flexible, and Apple kept refining perfection. Then came the lawsuits. Apple versus Samsung, Apple versus Google. Patents, gestures, icons, everything was now a battlefield. The rivalry became personal. Each new iPhone keynote was answered by a new Android flagship. Each Android innovation was either mocked or quietly adopted. And users? They started choosing sides. You weren't just buying a phone. You were declaring who you were. The lines were drawn. Are you a creative, a designer, a minimalist? You chose iPhone. Are you a hacker, a gamer, a customizer? You chose Android. And this wasn't just about gadgets anymore. It became a culture, a war of status, identity, and values. And to this day, that war hasn't ended. Art 2. Tech, culture, and ecosystem. iPhone versus Android. If Part 1 was about the past, Part 2 is about the present. Because this war isn't just about devices anymore. It's about how you live, work, share, connect, and which side of the digital world you've chosen. The tech battle. Simplicity versus customization. Let's get real. Both iPhone and Android are powerful. They call, they text, they browse, they shoot 4K video. But the way they do it couldn't be more different. iPhone is all about refined simplicity. It just works. You don't mess with settings. You just live your life. It's like a luxury hotel. Everything's clean, quiet, organized. But you don't get to move the furniture. Android is like building your own apartment. You can knock down walls, add widgets, choose launchers, download third-party stores. If you know what you're doing, it's a playground. But if you don't, it can get messy, fast. Culture clash. Status versus choice. iPhone isn't just a phone. It's a statement. You walk into a room, pull out an iPhone. People notice. It's sleek. It's minimal. It whispers, "I care about design." For many, it's not just about features. It's about feel. iPhone, actual, polished, premium, predictable. Android? It's the rebel, the explorer, the hacker, the gamer. With Android, you can find a device that fits you. Want a stylus? Get a Galaxy Note. Want gaming triggers? Go for Asus ROG. Want something affordable? There's a Pixel 6a or a Xiaomi for that. Android. Options, experimentation, freedom. The ecosystem. Game Apple's biggest power move. The ecosystem. AirPods, Auto Connect. Mac and iPhone sync messages. You can copy a photo on your phone and paste it on your Mac. It's all so smooth, but you pay for that luxury. Everything works best when everything is Apple Android, not one ecosystem, but many. Samsung has SmartThings. Google has Nest Plus Pixel Plus Wear OS. Other brands build their own integrations. It's not always as seamless, but it's modular. You're not locked in. You build the world that works for you. Security and privacy. Apple says, "We don't sell your data. You are not the product." And they mean it. With iOS, apps are restricted, tracking is limited, security is tight. Android gives more control, and with that, more risk. Unless you tweak permissions and keep things clean, apps can get a little too curious. That said, Google's improving fast. New Android versions are far more secure than before. So, which one wins? Right now? If you want, simplicity, security. Seamless luxury. iPhone is king. If you want, control options, custom. Adventure. Android is your playground. It's like choosing between an elegant yacht and a fully loaded off-road truck. Both get you where you're going, but the journey feels completely different. Part 3. Innovation, AI, and the next OS war. iPhone versus Android. We've seen where they came from. We know how they compete today. But the biggest question is still ahead. Who owns the future? Because phones are no longer just phones. They're assistants. Wallets, translators, cameras, remote controls, and soon, maybe even your brain's extension. Welcome to the next chapter. AI, AR, wearable worlds, and war without wires. AI, artificial or advantage? Google has been building AI tools for years. From Google Assistant to real-time translation, to AI-powered image editing in Pixel phones, Android is already thinking for you. And with their latest Android updates, they're integrating generative AI directly into keyboards, browsers, and apps. Apple, on the other hand, plays it quiet. No big AI launches, no flashy tools. But make no mistake, they're watching. And when they strike, they do it with polish. Siri may be behind today, but rumors point to massive AI updates coming soon, with smarter on-device processing and privacy-first machine learning. So the future? Android may move faster, but Apple may deliver it cleaner. AR, VR, and spatial tech, beyond the screen. The screen is just the beginning. Apple Vision Pro is already showing what the future could look like. A mixed reality headset with eye tracking, spatial audio, and iOS-like navigation. In the air, if it works, Apple could lead the spatial computing revolution, a new ecosystem beyond iPhone's Android. Google had Google Glass, then ARCore. Now they're working with Samsung and Qualcomm on new AR headsets. The difference? Apple goes solo. Android brings partners. So again, Apple, bi-chart, deep vertical integration. Android, source open, collaborative innovation. Ecosystem lock-in, power or trap. The real battlefield isn't features, it's ecosystems. Apple wants you to use iPhone, Mac, AirPods, Watch, Vision Pro. It's beautiful, it's seamless, it's hard to leave. Android wants to connect everything, regardless of brand. You could use a Samsung phone, Pixel tablet, OnePlus watch, and Nest speakers, all talking to each other. Open versus closed. Tight versus flexible. Comfort versus freedom. Which do you prefer? What will decide the winner? It won't be screen size. It won't be how many cameras you have. It'll be who makes your life easier, Who protects your data? Who helps you do more with less input? It'll be about who builds a world you don't want to leave. Apple might win the premium, stable path. Android might own the affordable, customizable future. Or maybe, just maybe, they both evolve into completely different species. One focused on luxury, the other on access. Final word, so if you want security, simplicity, and polish, Apple is still your future. If you want innovation, options, and control, Android is evolving fast. But no matter which one you pick, you're not just choosing a phone. You're choosing the rules of your digital life. And in the end, the smartest phone is the one that fits you.